exposing World Game, the blindfolded GeometryDash guy. And I think I've seen some clips of this guy, so let's get started. Disclaimer, we are not capable of recreating the presumed hacking methods to this level of accuracy, and there is still an extremely small chance that World Game's achievements are legitimate. So he's not being exposed. Let's see.
Not capable
they just don't want to be
the
sued up.
hacking methods to this level of accuracy, and there is still an extremely small chance the World Game's achievements are legitimate. Most people will recognize World Game from his GeometryDash with Closed Eyes series, where he completes many of the games.
What the heck? He got so many views? I did not know that. We've been fooled for 11 years. He's been doing this for 11 years? What? That's crazy.
Main levels with a blindfold on, garnering a million.
Yeah, I've seen some clips of this guy playing, but
among these videos
never the
is his
channel.
completion of Club Set Blindfolded, which he claims to have taken 2.1 million attempts and 100 million jumps. If you are knowledgeable about this game whatsoever, you can already tell something strange is happening here. In fact, if these attempts are legit, it would be the highest attempt count for a completion in the game's history. Most people just chalk this up as being attempt lying, believing that the completion itself is still legit. Many people have already gone over this aspect of his completion in the past, so it won't be our main focus here. Instead, we believe this goes much deeper. First of all, I'd like to—
Wait, and this was posted, like there was suspicion about this 2 years ago. So I don't know why it took so long for him to finally get exposed.
remind you how hard these achievements actually are. Keep in mind that beating a level with a blindfold on is much harder than beating a level such as Invisible Deadlocked, as you don't have visual cues of your icon and must rely entirely on audio cues and muscle memory. Obviously, it's not impossible.
Yo, someone's got to step it up. No visuals, no audio. You just got to remember your clicks. That would be crazy.
With that in mind, in addition to the 2.1 million attempts he spent on Club Step alone, you'd assume his gameplay would be as efficient and consistent as possible, which just isn't the case. His hand movements, or rather lack of, also just seemed a little inhuman, but that will be more important later on. Do keep it in mind. On top of all of this, he has essentially no connection to anyone in the GD community, which doesn't make sense considering how much time he claims to spend playing this game. All this information has led us to believe that this is much more than just attempt lying, so we decided to take a deeper look.
Wait, every single time he does this, he plays this with the blindfold, does he always look this way? Because imagine if he does look down this way every single time. Like, imagine he has like a secondary screen that mirrors this screen right here down below.
What is actually happening here? One of our main issues—
Wait, what is that? Someone say?
Look at what is actually happening here.
It says no blindfold is illegitimate and will not be allowed for use in completions because please actually put it on in order to continue playing. No blindfold detected.
Issues with uncovering anything about what was going on here was figuring out what method he could be using to cheat. Due to his limited online presence and there being no live or raw footage of any of his completions, there isn't much to go off of. There were some possible theories presented by a few commenters that actually accused him of cheating, such as a second monitor being out of view from the camera.
Hey, let's go! W theory? Oh, oops.
A fake blindfold, or someone else controlling the game.
Oh, that's also true.
People that don't believe me in my video, because I received so many comments that something like, oh, but there is a person in your room that's pressing the mouse button instead of you, your mouse is not plugged in your computer, or your blindfold, there is a hole in your blindfold so you can see through this.
However, none of these are the conclusion that we have come to. We believe that he may be using a method known as masking.
In short, masking is what video editors name the process of putting one video on top of another and cropping out a specific section to reveal the video or image that is underneath.
For example, I could take these two clips from his Club Set video, one from the intro before he even touches his mouse, and one—
So he just cuts it right here where his mouse is showing, and then right here he's blind.
In the middle of
he's
the
not
completion.
actually blindfolded.
We can then mask a screen out of the intro, revealing the gameplay from the other clip. Doing this with the hand gets a lot more complicated, and that's why we believe his lack of movements is very suspicious, especially considering he generally never takes his hand off of his mouse after the completion.
We know for a fact that World Game would know how to do this, considering his various impressive VFX videos he makes for his GD in Real Life series.
Dang, what? Wait, he's actually goated at this
and
though.
would know how to do this, considering
Yo!
his various impressive VFX videos he makes for his GD in real
Nah,
life.
this is crazy. This is some W edits.
The following steps is how we believe World Game uses masking to fake his completions. First, he records himself putting a blindfold on and then sits there repeatedly dying to the beginning of the level, keeping his right hand as still as possible. He then records himself completing the level legitimately.
He's just that good at
without
editing,
the
so
blindfold
it's too
on.
easy for him.
Next, he puts the first video on top of the second video, cropping out his hand and screen from the first video, allowing us to see his hand and completion from the second video. Put more concisely, he is using masking to put his blindfolded self over his non-blindfolded self to make the completion seem legitimate. We have a large amount of evidence spanning multiple of his videos that backs up this claim. I think the easiest way to go through all of this is by pointing out some of the major indicators of masking and showing which videos they appear in. Let's first start with what is most definitely the worst of this. In all of his videos before Theory of Everything, he has a monitor that isn't exactly the greatest for hiding masking. This is most obvious in Stereo Madness, Back on Track, Polargeist, Base After Base, and Jumper, where you can see the starting color of the level on the edges of his screen.
Oh!
And in the worst
Oh no. There's gaps. Yikes, man.
cases, you can even see the attempts passing by as he repeatedly dies.
Dude, yo, why did it take so long for him to get caught?
In addition to this, in a lot of the videos where this isn't visible, there seems to be some inconsistencies in the reflections on the edges of his monitor, implying that he just increased the size of the mask by a little bit. Unfortunately, once we reach Theory of Everything, he gets a new monitor that would make masking much easier, but there's still many other things that we have noticed. There's a lot of weird things that happen with his right hand in almost all of his videos. Some of the more consistent issues are his hand morphing into another hand at the beginning of an attempt, a visible line where the mask cuts off on his wrist or other parts of his room.
It's like
And his hand
super hard to notice though. Like unless you're really looking for it, then you're not gonna find that. But the screen thing was a little too obvious. Like the screen thing, you know, we definitely get like how they could get caught, but
Changing positions when covered by
people
his
were
other
so
hand
busy
in an attempt to
appreciating
hide the
him.
removal of the
I
mask.
guess so.
There are also a few instances
But
of his
like doing this concept is such a like an impossible thing. You know what I mean? It's like trying to do the impossible and trying to be the first at something that people should be skeptical, right?
left hand getting chopped off by poor masking when he is waving it around in front of the other one.
It is also worth noting that when we see this happen in FingerDash,
Oh!
these two frames are exactly the same except for his finger being cut by the mask, his right hand still having slight movement, and the gameplay continuing as normal. This is bad because it shows that these two parts of the footage are separate.
Another thing of note is the complete lack of movement in his right hand or arm for the entire video after he starts the attempt, as this makes masking much easier. Now let's see what we can find when we apply this information to his most impressive completion, Club Set Blindfolded. To start off, this is one of the many completions where we can see part of his hand, or more particularly in this instance his finger, morph into another finger right before his completion attempt. In addition to this, there are multiple
Wait, what'd they say?
in this instance his finger, morph into another finger right before his completion attempt.
They said, we are unsure about this, but the movement looks strange. Considering previous videos, it's not exactly unlikely.
In addition to this, there are multiple points throughout the attempt where his finger gets cut off at the edge of the mask. Moving on to when
It could just be a video
level,
glitch, you know?
He actually does move his arm a lot, with this being his only big reaction from any of his completions.
Oh!
However,
shoot!
He moves it so quickly that it would be extremely easy to turn off the mask convincingly as soon as it starts to move. With all of this in mind, I believe it is safe to say that Blindfolded Clubstep, along with all of World Game's other blindfolded completions, are illegitimate. To recap, we have definite evidence that many of World Game's earlier completions are cheated, in addition to a lot of corroborating
Dang, even
evidence
Stereo
that his other
Madness?
achievements are also cheated.
No,
It's always
not...
upsetting when someone is able to cheat their way into getting millions of views and high praise from the community, so it is
Dang.
our hope that this video can stop another instance of that. If this video somehow reaches World Game, we'd be willing to hear him out in case of a response that somehow explains what is actually happening here. We hope that this video could also reach some people in the VFX space that are much more qualified to talk about this subject than ourselves. Anyways, that's all from us. Thanks for watching.
More at the end. Some additional evidence plus strange movements. Oh, extra click plus no hand movement. Oh, yeah, where'd that extra click come from? The wrong section of Club Step song can be heard very faintly playing. Clicks in an unnecessary spot. Clicks in a completely unnecessary... Hey, I do that all the time as a noob. Extremely strange shift pattern that is hard to believe you could learn and do consistently for blindfolded completion. Bro, you can literally just hold here. Level exit noise playing when entering this level. Ooh, you see a little bit of shifting from the mask.
Hi everybody, I'm WordGame and I know it's a long time that I don't upload a new video on my channel, but it took so many time to complete X step level. It was so hard to complete with closed eyes.
Oh, you beat it? GG's. I would imagine that would take a long time.
And before starting this time to thank everybody for your support, comments, and those people that don't really need so many comments that something like
he's still going. Rambles.
And actually my mouse is my computer because the lecture of my mouse is body. And the default there is no good my so you can see here that there is no good. But now we can start with a step level.
Wait, what are you doing? Didn't you just say you beat it already like 2 minutes ago? Bro. 0 cuts in this intro, by the way. Wait, so he did beat it already. So... What? This is all based on theory and like speculation. So they don't have like concrete evidence as to like if World Game did cheat or not. Not everything in this video is concrete, but I do think some and most of these points we have are undeniable. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Me personally, like I'm not gonna jump to conclusions and say he cheated. I'm gonna be the devil's advocate and say like, oh, he had really bad quality camera. You know, his webcam. It's proven. If it wasn't proven, the camera quality was really bad, which could cause like, you know, glitches in the video and whatnot. But I wonder if World Game ever responded to this, because for someone who's very renowned in the GeometryDash community, he doesn't really interact with anyone. And he also you know, doesn't seem like the type to, you know, come out of nowhere and just like address this. So we're probably never gonna hear his side of the story. He's just gonna be like, oh, okay, whatever, and then just continue on. He's either just gonna ignore this, or he's gonna come out and, you know, just admit that it was fake the entire time, or just let it be. But I mean, we did see the masking errors on the screen, and I would say that's... it's pretty likely that he cheated. But hey, if there's any other like concrete evidence, I would love to see it. But shout out to Trouble. I'll leave the original video link down below if you guys want to check it out.